Good morning and welcome to Motivational Mornings, the podcast that gets you going before you get going.
Good morning and welcome to Motivational Mornings. My name is Vivi and as always, I'm here with my co-host Ryan. Today we will be talking about the book Straight Talk for Startups by Randy Komisar and Jantoon Riegersman. Now, Randy, just so that you guys have a little bit of background information, is actually a venture capitalist, so he invests into companies that have ideas in the later stages to kind of increase the size of the company and the growth. And then Jantoon, he is a quote-unquote a seasoned financial operator, so he has a lot of experience with growing startups and growth in companies and such. Now, overall, stepping back, this book was good to have a little bit of context into specifics on why they're doing certain things, but I found it overall a little bit more of a instruction manual as opposed to maybe an anecdotal book where you could learn some stories, but there were a few good points that I found interesting. Now, the first point is that most investors fear fundraising because of the inevitability of your rejection from the people that you're pitching it to, the investors, the angels, friends, etc. He talks about, I guess this is more so on Randy's side, that letting go of that part of your ego is what you have to do in order to make your business grow if you want to raise money and go through the investor capital that kind of way. You should not see it as a personal attack. Rather, when people are asking you, hey, I'm not really about that investment or this company or it's not really for me, that's just a rejection that they're not comfortable with investing at the moment, at the time. These opportunities will improve your business also because they'll give you holes that you can then work on. For example, when someone says, I don't like X about how you're running your marketing trajectory, and then they ask you questions on why it's happening, and at the end of it they say, I'm not interested in how you're going about this. Maybe we shouldn't look at that as, okay, my company's going to fail right off the bat, but more so, how do I use what they just said to go back to my company, ameliorate what I just talked about, and for the next pitch, have a better idea so I can improve it. It's just called a startup. You have to start somewhere, right? So fail fast with those little notices and little moments like that, and don't take those moments as personal attack to you. It's nothing about you, it's about the business. Another point that they talk about is how these days, starting a venture or a company has never been easier than it ever has been in the world. But succeeding has also never been harder. So the money is out there. People are out there trying to give you money for your ideas. But because everyone has access to this capital through online means, it's never been harder to succeed. So if you are that entrepreneur who just started a company, is thinking about raising money, do you really need that? And also, when taking on venture capital, you have to keep in mind that these people are looking for immediate ROI, immediate returns. And so if your trajectory isn't initially kind of on a exponential growth scale, then you're going to have to really ask yourself the question, is there other ways that I can raise this money? Maybe through loans, friends and family, banks, traditional means, because they won't necessarily be on you so much to get that immediate return of investment and keep exponentially growing it as a venture capital or an angel investor may be. And lastly, one of the interesting points I found was the best ideas from their perspective, the best companies originate from founders who are users of what they're providing, a service or a product. So meaning, if you actually needed to use a company or a service or a product to make your life a better in certain ways, then you should be the one who's starting this because you have a much higher chance of succeeding because you know the problems that you're trying to solve. Now, for example, Ryan and I are in Vancouver, BC, and there was a girl recently who sold smart suites, which I don't know if you guys have heard of, but she's a 23-year-old girl at university, then dropped out, built this company up and sold it for $400 million recently, and she became the founder of this company because as a young girl, she had problems with her self-esteem, and she had problems with candy and making her a little bit overweight, and her question was, how and why don't candies exist in a healthier form? So she went on to found this company. And that is a great example of how those founders who are users of their own products are the best, most likely people to succeed in a venture.
Now, the book talks about managing with a maniacal focus. And so an example the book gives is Steve Jobs and the early PowerBooks. This is like an early version of the Mac laptop. And now these PowerBooks are carved out of a block of silver aluminum. And I'm sure you guys have all seen the Apple laptops, and they always look so sleek. Well, when Steve Jobs was shown an early PowerBook that was manufactured on the manufacturing line, the first thing he did was he turned it over to examine the bottom. Now, the bottom in this line, it had to be cut from a different block of aluminum, so it was slightly a different shade of silver. Now, doesn't seem like a big deal, but Steve Jobs, he wasn't impressed. And apparently, according to the book, he got pretty mad and told him to scrap all of the PowerBooks that had been made. All because the bottom of the laptop, which people probably don't even look at, was a slightly different shade of silver. Now, in the short term, this would cost Apple hundreds of thousands of dollars just to throw away these PowerBooks. And the team suggested, like, you know what, why don't we just fix this going forward? We'll sell the ones that we've created now, we'll fix it going forward. But Steve Jobs, he knew how important the little things were. Details matter. The little things can make the biggest difference. Now, this goes for products, but also for services, or even anything you're doing in your personal life. If you want to excel or stand out, take care of the little things that are so easy to brush off. Because while they seem small, people will notice if it's not done right. Now, this book also has a chapter on to get where you're going, you need to know where you're going. And in this chapter, it emphasizes the importance on businesses having clear objectives, scheduling when you aim to achieve those objectives, and then measuring the progress and ensuring accountability for you and your team. Now, while this is hugely important for businesses, I think we can also take this lesson and apply it to our own personal lives. I think it's a great reminder, not only the importance of goal setting or setting our own personal objectives, but also to ensure we are working towards those goals, scheduling when we want to complete them by, and remaining accountable. So I think take this as a reminder or an opportunity to review your goals and when you were planning on achieving them by. And now ask yourself, am I on track? Or you know what, maybe life got in the way and the goals were temporarily pushed aside. That's okay, that happens. But in that case, this is a great reminder to get back on track and regroup. The book also talks about how success is not linear. There's always going to be ups and downs. It's not a straight shot. So your goal should be to focus on what you can control. And remember, there are always going to be some uncertainties and unexpected events. So stay positive when things don't go your way and keep on pushing. Now, that wraps up today's episode of Motivational Mornings. If you guys want to check out this book or any other book, you can go to audibletrial.com/motivational mornings to get a free 30-day free trial to try out one audiobook, whether it's Straight Talk for Startups or any other book of your choice. Thanks for listening and have a great day.